Today I'm going to be making a small fabric heart. They're known as pocket hugs, and they're just small little projects that you can make to give away to friends and family. I'm going to make it out of this shiny aqua fabric, and I'm just going to cut a heart. It can be big or small. You're going to want to turn it inside out or right sides together, so the pretty sides together, and then you can cut out your heart. You can certainly get a template or a stencil. I'm just going to freehand my heart today. And by cutting them out both at the same time, the top and bottom, we're going to make sure that they're both symmetrical. They're both the similar size. Alright, now that we've got our little heart, we're going to put right sides together, or the pretty sides together, and we're going to sew around the outside of the heart, but we're going to leave about 1/2 inch where we're not going to sew. So here we go. We're just going to start wherever you want to on the heart. I would suggest on one of the long sides, and I'm just going to sew around about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of the fabric. You can really do as close to the edge as you want. If you're not very good yet at sewing close to the edge, you can always cut your heart a little bigger. Use 1/4 of an inch seam allowance and then just trim it down after you've sewn it. That is certainly an option as well. Just go slow around those curves. When you get to the point, just put the needle down and turn it a little bit, and then we're going to leave a little space with that opening where it's not sewn. Alright, now that we've got that, we're going to go ahead and make a little notch at the top. We're not going to cut all the way through what we just sewed, but we're going to just cut a little notch and then trim that. That's going to help it so that when we turn it right side out, it's going to lay nicely. This is a little bit difficult because this fabric has some sparkles on it. I found that the fabric was a little bit stiffer than some of my other fabrics. So you're just going to work at it a little bit by pulling and turning this outside. You don't want to make the gap very big because then you're going to have more to sew. So still keep a small gap, but just work on pulling it out of there. I have these scissors here that I'm using to help me. Just turn it right side out, and they are certainly, they're not super sharp at the end, so they're not going to poke through the fabric. Alright, that's looking like a little fabric heart. Next we have to do is put some stuffing in it. So I found it best to roll it up, and again, this is pretty difficult to get this big thing of stuffing in this heart. So I'm going to use my scissors again to just help me. It kind of feels like you're not making much progress, but you actually are. Little by little you'll get it stuffed in there. You can always start with smaller pieces as well. You can stuff it however full you feel like. I thought this was about good. Alright, get it in those top of the heart, and next we're just going to go ahead and sew the side closed. You can hand sew this, but I'm actually going to use my machine. So I'm going to make sure all the stuffing is in there and that the insides are turned in just 1/8 of an inch. And then you'll see, because I'm doing a straight line, this is why it's easy to leave that opening on one of the straighter sides. Then just sew very close to the edge, trim it off, and you've got an adorable little pocket hug. How cute is that? I cannot just make one, I made several of these. I loved making them with little scraps that I had, leftover blocks, many different things. I got to decorate with some of them on a little shelf, and then I actually put some on little cards with some sayings. You can pause the video and read the sayings, but I really enjoyed making these.